The world seems very chaotic right now. There are protests and riots in many places in the world, and a few governments have even been toppled. I believe that this is all the prelude towards a war that's about to kick off. And in this video, I'm going to give you guys some pointers on what's going to happen in the world over the month of October. We'll also talk about cryptocurrencies, the stock market, and much more. All that's coming up. Hey guys, welcome back to Chariot Palmistry, where we help you navigate your life by predicting world events, life cycles, and finances. My name is Sulabh Jain, and in this video, we're talking about the energy in the world over the month of October. But first, let's just do a very quick recap over what happened in September. And I suppose the biggest news here is that there were lots of protests and riots in the world over the last couple months. This is part of my bigger theme prediction on what I believe is a bigger stock market crash or a financial crash that will take place in the world at the end of 2026. But of all the protests that took place over the last couple months, the one I find the most impressive is the one in Nepal. You see, they just toppled their prime minister. And it was the kids or the youth of their country that did it. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know I've been talking about the information age taking over the industrial age. And what happened recently in Nepal is that the youth of the country just got fed up with all the corruption taking place there. And they used modern technology, meaning mobile phone communication, to organize protests and riots and actually ended up toppling their government. By the way, they also burnt down their parliament and a whole bunch of innocent people got killed in the process. The more important point I'm making here is that the information age is very much alive. This is a continuation of the Arab Spring and the Bangladesh protests and really youth change that's taking place all over the world. It's an important theme that we all need to pay attention to because energetically there's something transformational happening here. But I'll throw up my screenshot to show you guys the series of events that's likely to take place next. So we've gone through a few months of political instability. The next step in this sequence is a war or an armed conflict. There's a couple prospects on how this can pan out. You see, the United States recently has been bombing Venezuelan ships which may or may not have had drugs on them. Technically, it's an act of war, although Venezuela hasn't responded to that yet. At the same time, the Russians are sending drones into lots of NATO countries, and Europe generally is preparing for war too. So we need to keep our eyes open on this one because I think in the next couple weeks, there's going to be a lot more armed conflict in the world. Could either start in one of these two places or it could develop somewhere else. But I also want you guys to have a look at my third prediction here, which is that there'll be a rise in the real estate market. And more recently, the Federal Reserve in America is lowering interest rates. Generally, when this happens, it's a sign that the economy is struggling, but it also means that real estate prices are about to go up. So we're not quite in November yet, so I won't put a tick on that prediction, but we can kind of see that the wheels are turning in order to maybe make that prediction come out too. So the world's in a very silly place right now, and I think it's probably going to get sillier in the months ahead, leading up to a crisis-ridden second half of 2026. By the way, just a couple weeks ago, I put out a video on my channel, which I'm also predicting a health crisis or pandemic to take place in August, September, October of next year. So if we look at this from lots of different perspectives, from different aspects or dashas and so on, that period of next year looks terrible. There's potentially a virus, a financial crisis, all sorts of difficult things taking place. In the next few weeks, I'll put out a new video to help you guys more clearly navigate through this period. I'll also update my decade cheat sheet and give you guys the next batch of investments that are going to be good after 2026. And on that note, let's talk about cryptocurrencies. This is my screenshot of the predictions I think are going to take place with the crypto market. Let's just have a look at that. So prediction number 11 here did not take place. There wasn't a price rise during this time. However, it looks to be since the middle of September, the price of Bitcoin is starting to fall. So most likely prediction 12 is going to end up taking place. And I want to take your attention to the very bottom of this screen where I talk about potential dates for the top of this crypto cycle. And the first of these dates is middle October to middle November. And I don't think this is where the top of Bitcoin is going to be, at least not for this cycle. So I'm going to cross that date out and we'll look to the next 3 dates on where the next top is. At the earliest, it could be late January to Feb time, although April and June, July are also looking plausible at this stage. And I'll come back and I'll update you guys later on, well, probably early next year, on when I think the top is. But at least for now, it doesn't look like it's going to be November. So that's one thing to say. The other thing I want to talk about is RoadVi and our Solana prediction from last month. So a couple weeks ago, I put out a video saying that RoadVi is predicting a move in the price of Solana. And I think we were timing it to about the 7th of September. And as you can see, on that date, it started moving up a lot. However, since the middle of September, where we were predicting Bitcoin to go down, Solana unfortunately started heading down too. RoadVi was predicting it would go all the way up, and what I think's going on is, if I move that scale down, you can see this slight dip that was due to take place in the middle of September. It's actually become a whole lot more violent of a downtrend. But I don't think the top is in for Solana either. I think the next couple weeks or months, this is going to keep pushing upwards. The key date I'm looking at right now is the 7th of October. At about that point, this downtrend should reverse and we should start heading up again. So don't give up on Solana yet, guys. So that's one thing. Now let me show you guys another stock that we think is going to be doing well over the next couple months. And it is Vertex Pharma. And we'll just wait for the screen to load here. Now what you can see over here, if I just reset the scale, again, the energy movement here is pretty good with the price where you can see it coming down. This period where it goes sideways, you can see the energy going sideways. A little bit of a dip. However, this big move up didn't quite pan out, followed by a big sideways move. What our tool's predicting is over the next couple weeks to month, this stock should be heading upwards. So I'll give you guys our prediction here, but understand that on this channel, we do not give you financial advice. We make astrology predictions and the rest is up to you guys to figure out what you want to do with that. And in the next couple days, I'm going to be giving you guys another video on RoadVi. We've just developed a really cool feature here where we can look at your personal energy. I'll be showing you guys Elon Musk and Donald Trump just to show you how cool this feature is. And on that note, we should probably go back and look at my predictions over the month of September to see how we did. And so I was expecting a stock market fall, which did not take place. A Bitcoin price fall in the middle of the month ended up happening, and a Solana rise also ended up taking place too. So that puts the predictions at about 13 out of 20 correct so far this year. And if you've been following my channel for a while, that's a very low average for what I'm used to. And I've been spending the last couple of weeks or months trying to figure out how it is that a system I've been using that's worked so well over the last few years is starting to fall apart. I think I figured it out. You see, the economy just isn't working the way it used to. There's a lot more manipulation taking place in it now than there was even as far back as during the COVID era. Now, for example, just recently, the Trump family signed a $5 billion crypto deal with the country of Pakistan. And Eric Trump has recently come out as a crypto genius or a crypto authority. And when things like this happen, I get very, very skeptical. You see, the whole benefit to Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies generally is they're supposed to be decentralized. No government is supposed to have any control over them. So the fact that the son of the sitting US president is all of a sudden an authority on cryptocurrencies while signing multi-billion-dollar crypto deals is a sign of just blatant corruption. There's a lot of manipulation going on over here. I think that manipulation is actually getting into the other markets as well. See, right now, everything is going up. The price of gold, the stock market, cryptocurrencies as well. And looking back at my predictions over the last maybe 3 to 6 months, where a lot of my predictions have been wrong, the ones I've been getting wrong is where I'm predicting things are going to fall. Like if I say the stock market's going to fall on a particular date, but instead it just keeps going up. That's money printing and that's manipulation. And so I'm going to spend like the next couple of weeks trying to come up with a new system or adjust my current system so I can make more accurate predictions about the manipulations that are going on. So for this month, I'll just leave you guys with the one prediction that I'm expecting a gold price rise to take place generally over the whole month. I'll also add that the price of oil might be going up too, and both of these are on the expectation that there's going to be a war coming up. And I'll leave you guys on that note, and I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot, guys.